I always looked up to my older sister. I copied everything she did, much to her annoyance. When her friends came over, I followed them around the house until Annabelle went in her room with them, shutting and locking the door. Annabelle started getting interested in darker stuff when she hit 15. Being just 2 years younger than her, I was branded the annoying little sister who wasn't cool, and she became more hostile with me whenever I tried to spend time with her. It really brought me down. I didn't know how to react. My big sister hated me. She didn't want me around anymore. I remember when I was 7 and she was 9, we would play house with our Bratz dolls. I just wanted everything to go back to the way it was. Soon after her 16th birthday, Annabelle started sneaking out of the house. I knew what she was doing. She was going to the graveyard to meet her boyfriend she met online, who just happened to live in our town. I knew this because she once left her laptop open and running, and being the snotty little brat I was at 14, I snooped. She snuck back inside through her window at about 4 a.m. Our rooms were right beside each other's, and I heard her come in. I heard some clashing and banging, but it stopped when I got up to knock on her door. I went back to sleep. When I woke at 8 p.m. to get ready for school, the house was oddly silent. I was hungry, so I walked downstairs to get some cereal into my stomach. What I saw next sent a wave of panic through me. There was bloody footprints all over the kitchen coming down from our tile stairs. My favorite cereal, mini wheat cinnamon flavor, was knocked all over. There were random pieces of it scattered along the floor. I bent down to look at the footprints a little more closely, and I realized that the bottom of my owl slippers matched the footprints exactly. There were dry blood on them. Why would someone wear my shoes? Not even my shoes, but my dirty, sweaty feet slippers to potentially commit a crime. To frame me? I thought about it, then I remembered the clashing and banging in Annabelle's room. I ran back upstairs to her room. I opened the door and found my big sister with a steak knife stuck in her heart. Had the boy that she met online followed her home to kill her? I had to check on Mom and Dad. I walked quietly to their room, afraid the killer might still be in the house. Mom had her throat slit. Dad was stabbed multiple times. There was a knife in his eye. I threw up in my mouth. I ran to the neighbors and told them that my house had been broken into and my family was dead. When the police came, I saw the dead bodies being wheeled into the ambulances. That was the last thing I remember. The doctors told me I fainted from shock. I woke up in a nice yellow room on a tan single bed. I got up, but they told me to lay back down, that I needed to rest before the detectives came in to question me. I was restless, so the younger looking one pulled a laptop from under her chair. It was on this site, so I'm writing here. I found out from the detectives that I was the main suspects in the murders. My fingerprints were all over the murder weapons, and they were playing good cop, bad cop with me. And the bad cop told me that I would be in inpatient treatment for a very long time. Good cop told me that I was very sick in the head, that they read my posts online apparently saying I was into the occult and I was going to murder my entire family as a sacrifice to Satan. I tried to tell him that I didn't have a laptop. I wasn't allowed one until I hit 16. I told him Annabelle had a laptop, but I wasn't allowed on it. The good cop gave me a weird smile. Later on, the good cop came in to talk to me. He listened to me and he said he believed that I didn't kill my family. Finally. He asked me if I could recall anything from that night, and I told him about the clattering and banging from Annabelle's room. He told me I should rest a little more. About 20 minutes later, a nurse, who I nicknamed Blondie, came in and gave me 2 orange capsules. I'm getting drowsy, so I'm gonna end this here. I'm just so glad someone knows that I didn't do this to my family. Patient D, formerly known as Amy Annabelle Lawrenson, does not remember murdering her entire family. She had completely blanked it out of her mind. multiple personality disorder suspected, as she has no siblings. Alter Annabelle most likely stemmed from childhood sexual abuse, presumably by patient D's father, as his genitals was mutilated. The boy she met at the graveyard had been attainted and is now patient J. More on him in a later email. For a girl of only 14, these murders were brutal, which leads me to my next point. We can only use this to our advantage. Our perfect little murdering machine. I think we finally found the one to host our greatest creation yet. Best regards, Dr. Sam. Update 1. I just woke up. No one is in the room with me this time. The laptop they gave me is open on the page to edit this. There's a huge blank space in between me saying that I was going to sleep and what I'm writing now. Oh, and I just woke up with a sharp pain in my neck. It's actually what woke me up. I was dreaming I was 6 fighting Annabelle for her new Dora toy she got for Christmas. I wanted it so bad. I had begged my parents to get me it for months, and they got it for her. Another memory I'm thinking of right now is when my mom fell down the stairs and I was right behind her. I heard her ribs crack. She called out for help, but I remained at the stairs, frozen. I blacked out once again. I black out a lot, actually. They never told me what those pills they gave me were. All I remember is about 5 minutes after taking them, I felt drowsy. Pills don't work that fast, do they? My head is starting to spin and I feel dizzy. I feel like something or someone else is trying to control my body. I have to stop typing again. Can anyone tell me if there's text where the blank space is? Update 2. The good doctor came back in and asked me to recall what happened again. I swore at him. I spit at him. I already told him I didn't kill my family. How many times do I have to say it? He said he believed me. He didn't close the door fully when he left to get an orderly. And I heard him talk to someone about the boy she met with. They said he's fighting against his restraints. So does the boy that Annabelle met with have something to do with my family's murder? I'm so confused. In about a minute, the same 2 people that were sitting on either side of me last time came back in. So now I have to be monitored? Just because I told the doctor something he knows already? Bullshit! The same nurse came back in again, this time holding a pink pill in a paper cup. This will help you calm down, sweetie. Please, just take it. If you cause any more trouble, we are going to have to restrain you. You wouldn't like that, would you? I glared at her. I took the pill and swallowed it. The taste stayed in my mouth. I gagged. Good girl. If me swearing and spitting at Doctor's face was enough to warrant restraints, I wonder what that boy did. About 15 minutes after I took the pink pill, I started having violent visions where I stabbed someone, but they had no face. And then another person, and then one more. They bled, but they had no faces. What does that mean? Why did the pill make me feel this way? Patient D was given Reactant 700 milligram. It didn't work like we have hoped, but it still made progress. I'm going to let her rest for the rest of the day. I don't want to tire our subject any more than we already have. She hadn't noticed that the laptop was given to her is bugged. Not very observant. Note that one down. We'll need to fix that, all in good time. About Patient J. He's really not taking to his restraints, but it's fun to watch him squirm and shout that he's gonna kill us all. When he passes out from exhaustion, he will be given 15 milligram of reactant, administered through the jugular vein. It will make him do kill. If anyone has any questions regarding our 2 new subjects, come down to my office. Best regards, Dr. Sam. Update number 3. There is another huge chunk of blankness between my previous update and this one. I don't understand. I fell asleep for about 30 more minutes, and I dreamed of a world with faceless people. Like completely human in every way, but had no faces. I've never had a dream like that in my life. I can't access on any other website besides this. I've tried. I tried to go on a website that I remember Annabelle going on all the time, but it comes up with an error message. About the unit I'm in, I'm not technically on lockdown or anything, but there's an orderless standing outside my door. The nurse came in to give me some shot. She said that it would make me remember. Remember what? I have no idea. I know I did not kill my family. I know it. I have never been violent in my life. I have never sleptwalked. I have never had any intrusive thoughts. The good doctor hasn't been back in my room yet. The pain in my neck is back. I don't really know what caused it. I remember I was about 5 or 6. I fell off a swing and somehow bashed my head into a metal pole. I remember crying a lot, but my mom brought me ice cream and I eventually stopped. I want to see what happens when I try and leave this room. I have no energy though. I've gotten up from my bed twice to see the restroom. I remember when I was 7 and Annabelle was 9, we moved into a new house. There was 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. Mom and Dad got one, of course, but Annabelle and I argued and argued until she punched me in the nose and I started crying. Mom ran to see what all the fuss was about. When she saw my bleeding nose, she yelled at Annabelle. I have nothing else to do but describe my surroundings, repeat myself saying that I didn't kill my family, and think back on memories. When I was 11, I still had an imaginary friend. His name was Bubbles. Bubbles didn't like Annabelle or Dad. He never told me to hurt them or anything. He just told me one day we would be together and I would be away from all of the negativity. Bubbles talked to me through the vents, which now that I am thinking about is kind of creeping me out. What if he wasn't imaginary and there was someone in our air vents talking to me every night? What if I'm here and Bubbles is here too? He sounded like a grown-up to 11-year-old me. He talked about going to the beach with me whenever I was sad or upset. I love the beach. He really comforted me during my dark times. I loved and still love Bubbles. Emergency note from Dr. Sam. I've been watching the activity from patient D's laptop. She is starting to remember. The shot of reactant really kicked things up a notch. Never in my life would I have thought that it would work so fast. She really is my special little girl. Soon she'll awaken and remember everything. We can't let that happen right now. We are not ready to deal with it at this early of a stage. She can be extremely dangerous when she is upset. Lord have mercy. If patient D shows any sign of distress, she will have to be restrained. Do not enter the cell unless it is a direct order from me. If she hurts one of my staff, we're sending in the half-breeds instead. Can always replace a half-breed. Can't replace a valuable and cherished member of our team. It's hard to find people that understand our work here. Best regards, Dr. Sam.